Prohibition of Gregorian calendar and the meaning of Surah At-Tawbah, Ayah 37. For centuries, the measurement of time has been treated as a mere convenience, yet for the believer, time is a divine decree. Idris, a scholar of firm resolve, stood before a celestial map. He explained to his student Zayd that the seasonal Gregorian calendar is a man-made construct that shifts and wavers, unlike the fixed precision of the lunar cycle established by the Creator. To follow a calendar that bends to the sun is to abandon the tether of certainty. Idris pointed to the globe, highlighting the instability of a year tethered to the tilt of the earth. The seasonal calendar is not permanent, he stated. Its length is not absolute. It is a forced fit that creates a disconnect between the heavens and the earth. He explained that while the north clings to its seasons, the southern hemisphere and the polar regions are betrayed by this system, where a single day and night can encompass a whole year. Zayd looked at a parchment where the days of the Gregorian year were laid out. He saw how the natural year of 355 days was stretched and distorted to 365. This is Nasi, Idris's voice echoed. It is the act of postponing. By adding these 10 or 11 days to satisfy the seasons, man interferes with the divine count, creating a veil of uncertainty over the sacred dates. Idris opened the great book to Surah At-Tawbah, verse 37. The words glowed with an authoritative light. He recited, إنما النسيء زيادة في الكفر يضل به الذين كفروا يحلونه عاما ويحرمونه عاما ليواطئوا عدة ما حرم الله فيحلوا ما حرم الله زين لهم سوء أعمالهم والله لا يهدي القوم الكافرين. He then provided the translation that postponing is an addition in disbelief. With it, the disbelievers are led astray. They permit it in one season and forbid it in another in order to match the number which Allah has forbidden, thus permitting what Allah has forbidden. The consequence of this postponing is the erosion of the 4 sacred months. Idris gestured toward a sequence of 4 fading lamps. In the seasonal calendar, the sanctity of these months, Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah, Muharram, and Rajab, is lost. They are no longer recognized as a sanctuary of peace, as the Gregorian system ignores their divine placement, pushing them through different seasons until their original value is forgotten by the masses. Look at what happens when the sacred is ignored, Idris warned. Zayd looked upon a vision of a forest where the protection of the sacred months had vanished. Because the calendar had been shifted, hunters no longer respected the times of peace ordained by Allah. By the early 15th Hijri century, the prohibition against hunting in these months was largely ignored, as the seasonal calendar blinded people to the true arrival of the holy times. The confusion spreads to the very heart of worship. Idris and Zayd observed a crowd of people looking at their devices and calendars, arguing over the start of Ramadan and the timing of the Eids. The seasonal calendar increases the number of holidays based on solar events, complicating the fast and leaving the Ummah in a state of perpetual doubt. The clarity of the moon is replaced by the complexity of human calculation. Idris spoke of the great injustice to the polar zones. How can a seasonal calendar govern a land where the sun does not set for months or does not rise? He showed that the Gregorian system is a northern-centric bias. Allah's true calendar, the lunar path, provides a universal standard that does not shrink or expand based on the earth's wobble, ensuring equity for every believer, whether they dwell in the burning desert or the frozen poles. As Idris finished the recitation of the verse, a sense of order returned. The returning light of certainty began to wash over the room. Zayd felt the weight of confusion lift. The verse of Surah At-Tawbah acted as a sword, cutting through the illusions of the seasonal system and restoring the moon to its rightful place as the keeper of the divine count. Certainty in time is a divine mercy, Idris concluded. To follow the lunar calendar is to submit to a rhythm that is permanent, unchanging, and just. It preserves the sacred months, protects the sanctity of worship, and unites the Ummah under one sky. They stepped out under the night sky, where a slender silver crescent hung perfectly in the heavens, a clear, divine sign for all of mankind.